the zombie war came unthinkably close to eradicating humanity. Driven by the need to preserve the first-hand experiences from those apocalyptic years, while they still exist in living memory, Max Brooks traveled across the planet to find and record the testimony of men, women, and sometimes children who came face to face with the living, or at least the undead, hell of that terrible time. World War Z is the result. Some of these voices were chosen for the uniqueness of the perspectives and information they provide. Others are included because they speak for hundreds of millions who were forever silenced. Never before have we had access to a recording that so powerfully conveys the fear and horror, and also the brave spirit of resistance that gripped human society through the plague years.
First of all, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of your first report and the subsequent book that you wrote afterwards. It was eye-opening. It was touching, really. It was really touching, actually, because for the longest time I felt like what I was doing was really stupid and vain. Sorry about the mess, by the way. I'm trying to, like, you know. So many people nowadays not even build, they just are assigned these homes, and just homes that are like built to protect from any reoccurring dead that may show up in the summer months. And although there's something about having an old pre-war home, it just was always something I wanted to do before the war and during the war. I just still wanted to have something, some semblance of the past, I assumed. I noticed in a lot of the reports, not just your reports, but everyone's reports, they really didn't say much about Baltimore, where I'm from. I'm here from Baltimore. Baltimore was, for lack of a better word, shit show. It was, because the panic hit the East Coast first. Went New York to California, and much fault to Florida. New York to Florida, and just decimated. And I lost a lot of friends in the panic before there was even like a migrate west, a new manifest destiny. The crime rate in Baltimore was already pretty bad, right? And then you throw the zombies into it, and Baltimore was fucked from the beginning. Rioting started, I think honestly before the panic even hit the East Coast of America. They just started rioting anyway, because I think people knew the world was gonna fucking end. So yeah, there was martial law, cops, so many stories in the news every night of just cops beating the shit out of people they claimed were zombies. And there was footage, and they were definitely not zombies. They were living people. I don't know if they were looting or they were trying to survive, or gas prices skyrocketed, water skyrocketed, hotel rooms skyrocketed, oddly enough. You're supposed to be getting out of town, not moving out of your house and hoping, oh, this hotel will be safe. Tolls on highways skyrocketed, and it was like $10 to cross anywhere west. I was stupid. Family all left. I don't know why I chose to stay behind. I really don't know anymore. I was 17. I was stupid. Didn't want to listen to my parents. Every day I wish I did. But so I found a few friends, and we fought our way through the harbor. There were people still living in the city, mostly on the top floors of apartment buildings with barricades. And every couple days, we snuck on board a boat in the inner harbor, and apparently, I didn't know it was an Argentinian boat at the time. It was just a boat. It was an exit. It was an exit strategy. So, me and it was a coworker and someone they knew from their like neighborhood. The three of us got onto a boat in the Baltimore Inner Harbor. We literally rode that boat for 6 months down through South America into the Strait of Magellan, back up the west side of South America past Chile to Mexico. We actually went to Hawaii for a little while. Hawaii. I've never seen. They have the pictures of the refugees in Hawaii. It does not even begin to walk and hear the sound of 200, 300,000 people breathing and shouting and crying, just trying to find loved ones like that. It was absolutely horrifying, actually. The USS Saratoga, I got a job as a custodian. I was around the age of 20, 21 on the USS Saratoga, the Super Sarah, which is pretty much like the giant floating United Nations vehicle. So yeah, I cleaned the rooms. I never spoke to any of them, but I cleaned the rooms of a few foreign diplomats, and I saw the president, and I saw the vice president, but I never actually spoke to them. I think, why would they want to fucking talk to me anyway? Eventually, I left the Saratoga in California, and by then, California was like getting everything ready with the counteroffensive, or Operation Take Back America, because in the 2.5 years I left the country, not of my own volition, of course, I would love to stay and fight, but I consider it lucky that I got off mainland when I did, and just rode boats for 2.5 years around North and South America. It was just as bad as that. I guess we didn't really get to see much of the living dead on the boats, obviously, because they were all on land or deep underwater. But just fucking imagine what's still down there, because they don't need to breathe, right? They could be living down there, miles below the surface. Oh, I guess not. Pressure would blow them up or something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. Losing track. Where was I? Yes. We got to California, and by then, I just wanted to head back because I felt the need to. I didn't serve my country during the panic. So I at least had to serve in some capacity. It felt like my duty to do, which was a horrible mistake. So I marched with my men, with my company, literally across America. We started in Santa Monica. We went up towards Reno, ended up near Denver. We went diagonally. Denver, then across that, Nashville, Memphis, up to DC. DC was... That game Fallout 3, it looked a lot like Fallout 3, actually. Because not many people had been living there for 10 years. The grass had grown way over top, the sky was black from bodies and burning ash, and dead. There was a concentration of the dead, but it wasn't a large, massive number. But we came back here eventually. Which is also why I didn't give you guys my last name. may or may not have gone MIA a few years back, and I may have not have gotten these fake glasses and let my hair grow out. So they fucking left us, you know? I mean, there's not a single thing wrong with what I did. Yes, I left my country there because the military. I left my military. Yes, I abandoned my job because you know what? After marching for fucking 7 months across the United States to kill the occasional dead person and the occasional nights of just non-stop murderous killing. There was one time I was in a house. It was right outside of Tennessee, somewhere in Tennessee. They had it sweeping clear of the houses. I went downstairs and there's a locked bathroom, which is what we usually assume is probably a dead body in there by now. It's been almost 5, 6, 7 years by now, so there had to be somebody like, you know, dead in there. So I kick the door down, and this girl, she's like 13, lunges at me. That was the nearest miss. That was the nearest I ever got to dying. Just infected. I hadn't killed many Z's, luckily. I mean, that took a few shots, but never hand-to-hand stuff before, and that was one of my first ones. No. This used to be a 13-year-old girl, you know? That sticks with you. Eventually I got back here to my hometown, which used to be called Catonsville, and the time I had gotten back here, people had started taking over. It was not, it's hard to explain, but I don't know all the political details of it, but I guess they want to get rid of the name Catonsville because, you know, it connotated just how much death was on the East Coast during the Great Panic and in the World War Z. Sorry, I kind of quoted your book. Just the fight against the dead afterwards, they changed it to New Caton, which isn't bad. I like New Caton. So I come back to New Caton, and my house is family's house, really. It's still here, still intact. I kept my ID for 10 years to show them that I stood, because people live here too. There's like 3 or 4 other people who live in this, and it's a large house. So I'm not going to tell them they can't live here, and it's not even my call; it's the government's decision. But strings were, I don't even strings were pulled. It's just someone up there was nice to me, and I was able to move back into my old home, across from this old farm, and we started this idea of a garden because it's growing new life, and every spring, instead of having to fight the dead, you want something nice than that, you know? So we started planting trees, but there was a certain way we did it. We wanted to plant a tree for everyone in Catonsville lost. New Caton. Everyone knew Caton lost. Friends, teachers, people I used to date, people I've hated, family. People you used to see every day. Every day. I never got to know what happened to them. Like, there are a few people I still know from 10 years ago, but so many new faces, some people I haven't seen or never really met 10 years ago. A few of us did come back. We got this weird pride about us. We all came back. So that first summer we planted trees.